So I recently went to a 3-day event in Dubai, having learned so much, and I didn't even imagine I could learn so much in 3 days. And it wasn't about the content, it wasn't about the tactical stuff, the presentations that the speakers were having, but more so about the network and also just the limiting beliefs that, and like the course direction that kind of changed in my head. And what I mean by that is it just got me thinking way bigger. And I want this year to be the theme where I try to encourage everybody out there, but also myself, to think bigger. To give you some context, there were people doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to $10 million a month in revenue. People with companies that have a 50 to 100 or even multiple 9-figure evaluations. And it just, frankly, let me feel like a pussy, like a bitch. I'm trying to build an agency here doing 200, 350K a month, and that's where we want to go to in the next couple of months. Whilst other people out there are literally building multi 9-figure empires. And don't get me wrong, like I'm still going to continue to run my agency and I really want to do this. And I've never been motivated to grow this to $1 million a month than ever before. But it got me thinking, and I also realized that to a certain degree, the vehicle that you're in just almost matters more than the person behind it and the amount of work you can do it. And obviously you have like all those different types of business models out there. You have e-com, info, you have SaaS, you have service-based agencies. And I'm so incredibly grateful for having started with the agency, because it does truly teach you all the skills that you need to truly build a big company. And also if you essentially ascend in any of those other business models, like you can take those skill set and you can pretty much crush right away because you have those skills. But it also got me realizing, and I now truly better understand, that the agency is not the 9-figure play. It's not a multi-8 or 9-figure play, or at least if you do want to get there, it will take you a very long time and you will go through a lot of up and downs, and we're still going to do so. But it also made me realize that I gotta start building a second or multiple second vehicles and essentially go from CEO to operating multiple different businesses that can build income on the side. And this is kind of where we're going to next, and this is kind of what we're building, with the goal to build more of a venture studio where we have multiple different, essentially you could say either sub-agencies or other companies that are powered by the core team in the agency. Which led me kind of to realization in lesson number 2, which is talent is everything. And it's so ironic and like it's so funny because you hear all those things. Same thing with like agency isn't the perfect vehicle. Like you hear that when you start out, like it's not news, but there's just this moment, and I'm sure everybody knows it, where things click. And it clicked for me when it comes to the vehicle, and it also started clicking for me when it comes to the talent. Talent is everything. And at a certain level, you cannot just, especially in that, like, I guess stage where I'm at right now, I cannot afford a 200, 300, 400K like a year salary for an absolute fucking savage. Like that, I'm not able to do so. But on the other hand, the people that I've got right now, they're also not skilled enough to truly grow this to the next level. So in the past 30 days, I've literally been on so many interviews, and I've just find myself like spending so much time and energy and focus towards just recruiting the right people. But the right people with a wrong company structure and bad leadership also doesn't get you really far. I truly believe, as of right now, the number one priority for every CEO and founder should be recruiting talent, and then obviously also leading them. But recruiting and finding absolute savages that can do their job even better than you can is the absolute key to growing the business, A, without you, and B, to the point where you can remove yourself from day-to-day operations. You can be a true CEO, and you can grow multiple things on the side too and build an empire instead of just focusing on small little problems. Which leads me to kind of lesson and learning number 3, which is, again, good talent needs good leadership. And I would have never considered myself a bad leader, but there's just so much that goes into proper leadership that I had to learn the bad way. Like I had team members, A players leave because of bad leadership, because I wasn't communicating the mission, vision, and the values that we represent as a company frequently enough. Obviously, I had a document with like mission, vision, core values, and I showed this to everybody in the like when they got hired, but I never truly indoctrinated that into their head and repeated it and brought it up on all hands in calls and like really enforced everybody to align themselves with the vision, the values. And most importantly, I just took some values from other companies. When I found this to be one of the biggest mistakes, you need to create your own values and your own mission and vision, and truly put this onto paper or onto a website or whatsoever, when you are in this flow state and when you just think about it and you're like, yeah, this is it. It shouldn't feel forced. If it feels forced, it's wrong. And what has helped me a ton that you can maybe take away from this is think about your absolute superstars on your team. That could be including yourself. Like, just what values does somebody have that absolutely excels within this company? Now for us, I've taken literally 10, 12 values that I had on a doc from others. I've consolidated those into 4 main ones, or 5, which is aggressive over communication. When it comes to clients, when it comes to teams, we want everybody in the team to aggressively over communicate in every dimension of their work. The second one is relentless urgency. Time is money, and we should treat time as our most valuable assets, meaning we don't miss deadlines. We don't wait for things to get done. We act with relentless execution and urgency in every dimension, every day in our work, to move the needle forward faster than anybody else out there. The third one for us is extreme ownership. And I would say this is probably one of the most important ones. If you have true killers on the team, they will take extreme ownership. If you think about an absolute world-class team out there, their team members, the people on that team, if they have a problem, they own it. They go out there, they fix it. They're responsible for it. And you as a CEO, or you as an operator, whoever you're in, or whatever role you play in your company, you should not have to clean up that mess. And if they're not able to take extreme ownership, then you just hired the wrong person. The fourth value for us is radical transparency. A big thing too that I had to learn, and that's what I meant with, like, I wouldn't consider myself, I've never considered myself a bad leader, but like I now realize that I have so much more to learn and grow into as a leader. But having hard conversations and not shying back from having those hard conversations. And it's not just about you as a CEO or founder having hard conversations with team members that are underperforming. It's also setting the standard in the entire team culture and making sure the team members have hard conversation with each other. Because for example, if we have an onboarding team lead and she is responsible for making sure all clients are launched in time, but she cannot launch people on time because, I don't know, client success is not doing XYZ, then number one, she needs to act with relentless urgency to get those clients launched. Number two, she's got to take extreme ownership of that task, of that responsibility, making sure clients are done on time, and she does everything it takes and she owns up for it if it doesn't work out. And number three, she has to be radically transparent with everybody else on the team, including client success, to really make sure they're doing their things. And she needs to have that hard conversation. And if she is not able to talk with this person and still nothing changes, then obviously it reports back to us, and we got to help out, and we got to have a hard conversation with the client success team. And then lastly, our fifth value, which is probably one of the most important ones, is data first. Now, it's a very typical one, or in my opinion, very generic one, but I found that we want to operate our company based on data. And I mean this in every single dimension and aspect. Meaning if somebody comes to me saying, oh, this is not being done, I don't even respond to them unless they provide me actual data and proof of, like, this is happening, this is where it messed up, like, Callum, need your help here, or whatever it is. And even if that's the situation, I don't just go there and help them. That's another thing I learned. I have them come up with the solutions for me. I use a framework called 131. Essentially, I require them to come to me. I ask them, okay, what's the 131? Like, what are 3 potential solutions, and what do you think is best? Like, what is your recommended plan of action? So it's 1 problem, 3 potential solutions, and 1 recommended plan of action. They come up with this for me. And after they brought me the 131, I can give them my answer. But by doing so, they get to proactively think about solutions, and they will come up with solutions. And now next time, they'll just do it without me, or to a certain extent in most situations. And this literally took me from being fucking involved in pretty much every single client fire literally a month ago to now literally having CS handle everything for me. I don't have to worry, and to a certain degree, it also means trusting your team to handle the situation and giving them the autonomy to do so. Like, if my client success manager says, we need to give this client a refund, then obviously I'll try to look into it, but I let them have that decision. They, in the end, know more about the client situation, and I've communicated our interests, and I've also incentivized them in terms of bonuses aligned as closely as possible to the incentive of the company, and therefore I know they're going to be acting in the best interest of the company. And this sounds, once again, so 101 playbook, but I think there's a moment where it just truly clicks, where you truly align the interests of the company with the actual person's interest, and the compensation of the company of the person with the interest of the company. So there is so much more to leadership than I thought. And right now I'm in the mode where I just want to go out there and learn as much as possible. I'm reading books, I'm watching YouTube videos on leadership, I've invested into courses for leadership, and I made it kind of my personal mission to become the absolute best leader for my team, to really help them achieve greatness. And a big part of that is also inspiring team members to be and thrive for greatness. I've made every single person on the team a promise that when they join the team, they're gonna join a world-class team of marketers and salesperson. Meaning if there's somebody that's not adhering to that standard, that's not owning up to those values and like aligned with the interest of the company and the team, then this is essentially me going against the promise of that I've done to literally everybody else on the team. And I cannot have that happen. We cannot have that happen. There are 3 types of people in the company. You have donkeys, camels, and stallions. Donkeys are the ones that you just gotta, I'll start with the stallion. Stallions, you just gotta give them a direction and they'll just run. They'll just go for it, they'll get it done. They're the best. You have camels, they go a very, very, very long way. You gotta hold them, but they'll bring you very, very far. And then you have donkeys, and God forbid you have a fucking donkey on the team. A donkey needs constant slapping and ass whooping to make sure they're getting the job done. And that is literally your biggest fucking waste. And if you ask anybody out there who actually has a donkey, they fucking hate it. So get rid of the donkeys of the team, make sure stallions are well compensated, and spend time with stallions, whether that's a personal phone call. Like, you gotta keep them on the team for as long as possible. And camels, you wanna develop and train them to become stallions or to be able to do a better job. So being a great leader, managing a team of 20, right now we're a headcount of about 22, is something that I not underestimated, but like there's just so much more that goes into this, and I still got a very long journey. But I've really learned a lot from that mastermind and just from meeting the people around me. And I wanted to kind of share that with you guys because I would have liked to have seen a video like this. And I also now talk with a couple of agency owner friends, and I'm trying to share the sauce with them and tell them like kind of what I've learned. And every single person that I told about my like leadership learnings and lessons, they implemented that for themselves, and it has achieved tremendous results for them. And they say like, Callum, damn, like this shit is working. Like I'm already seeing a difference like one day in. So I encourage everybody, get on a team, get on a call with everybody in the team, really truly take a piece of paper, think through your mission, vision, core values, make sure there is an actual direction, and be radically transparent. Like tell everybody like this is what it's about. Like, for example, I never communicated with client success truly like, hey, this is the interest. We need to make money. We need to collect money on those clients. Like up until this point, it was always like, keep the client happy, keep them, like retain them. But it wasn't true. That's not the true incentive. That's not truly aligned with the company's interest. The company's interest is obviously retain them. And now what we've added, and what I've also added as a bonus, is we want to collect as much money on the back end as possible. So there's a percentage that we track of what we project and what we collect, and then they get commission and bonus on that. But the biggest thing is showing up as a leader and leading as an example. You got to be the leader and the person who takes B's to A's and inspires, not motivates, but inspires your team to thrive for greatness or thrive to become the best, or whatever your company's goals are. Learning all this, and now me investing a lot of time into this has taught me a lot, and I still have a long way to go, but I wanted to share this, kind of document it. I like to document my content or my learnings on YouTube here. I'm also going to be posting more content on other topics in the near future on how we do things, how we scale ads, and so on and so forth. So if you want to stick around, then obviously I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. You can like the video, comment if you have any questions, or just hit me up on Instagram. I've got my Instagram linked in the description of the video, and I'll answer you any questions that you have. And obviously it would be great to connect if you're a business owner, agency owner, you own an e-com brand, just everything. And if you need something, I can connect you. I've got a big network. So yeah, cheers. Thanks a lot for the video, and see you in the next one. Peace.